and I'm going to put all those nodes in a group and then generate a plot using those nodes. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. So I'm going to come over here to Format, Tools, Format Group. Down here it says New. So I select New, it comes up, select Objects. This is the name. I'm just going to call this Out Nodes. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to tell it I only want to pick nodes. And then I very carefully try to pick everything along that line. Since I have 47, so I'm just going to zoom in. And basically I'm just moving along this edge, making sure I have the nodes selected as I want. And I do. So I just hit OK, and it's created. Now, I should be able to go back to my results. So here's Sim, here's results. I'm going to go ahead and do my stress nodal. And there's my group. I was just looking for this right here. So here's my group. It's got it. The group is defined. It's the output nodes right here. I can click on this, and that's all it's going to show me. The stress, so it's not on those nodes, but the elements that are connected to those nodes. And of course, I can come over here and shut off different parts of my model, right? And look at the stresses. Later on we'll do this. We do this a lot when we do the 3D mesh and we have a complex part and we partition it, right? So for every partition we're going to create a separate volume. So all those volumes will be right here. We can turn off and on different meshes and zoom in on what we want. Alright, so the easiest way to get the output that I want is to go ahead and create a plot. So I'm going to come over here. We see this right here. Here's our create graph. So I'm going to click on create graph. Before I do that, I'm going to come over here. I want the stress in what direction? Y, right? So I want YY, so I'm going to do stress in the YY direction, and it should be almost the same. It didn't change. See, here's YY. It didn't change. The magnitude is almost the same. Now, the cool thing is, what kind of elements did we use? We did shell elements, but remember when we were talking about shell elements, I said, well, you pick shell elements, but it's really this kind of element. Plane strain, plane stress. Which one? Plane stress elements, right? So plane stress elements meant that the stress in the 3-3 direction was 0, right? In this case, the 3-3 direction is what? In the XX direction, right? This is normal to my shell. So normal to my shell, I should have 0 stress. So I'm going to come over here, that's XX. There's XX. 0 stress. Because I'm using plane stress elements. That's exactly what should happen. Alright, so back to YY. So there's my YY. I have my nodes. I'm going to come over here to my plot. I'm going to click on create graph. Come over to my graph. Non-path, blah, blah, blah. IDs, blah, blah. I don't usually pay any attention to this until I come over here. I'm going to click, see right here, it says pick from model. So here's my y-axis. I want the stress on the y-axis, right? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to use entities in group. And it knows I only have one group. So I hit the little check mark, and it creates it. Notice it highlighted all those nodes. And then come over for the x-axis. I'm going to click here. I'm going to use coordinate value. I'm going to click there. I want to use the z coordinate value, right? So I'm going to click z-axis. And then here, I'm gonna click on this. Notice it still has this little star right here. I'm gonna click here, select coordinate global, and that fixes it. It's just using the global coordinate, so it's using really this. So I've got this. It should be the stress. So I go ahead